Hi, this is Amy, and I'm out and about having lunch with a friend, and I got here a few minutes early. So I thought I would share something that's like, I tell this story all the time because it's so important and so simple, but I find myself in this place more often than not these days. It's kind of a form of, I guess, calling it taking my power back and releasing myself from status quo and tradition and obligation and things like that. But the story goes a little like this. There's a mom and a daughter, and they are making meatloaf together. And the mom, as she's preparing the meatloaf to put in the pan, she cuts the ends off, and then she sets it aside, and then she puts the meatloaf in the pan. And the daughter asks her, why do you cut the ends of the meatloaf off before you put it in the pan? She's like, well, I don't know. Let's call your grandmother. So they call the grandmother, and the grandmother does not recall. So they're like, let's call Gigi, the great grandmother, and see what she has to say. And she says, well, because the pan was too small. Holy hell. Anyway, so for generations after generations, they were just following along without asking questions. So I find myself in taking my power back. I really never knew what that meant. People say it all the time, and I understand the importance of it, but it shows up in so many different ways. But for me, it's about trusting in myself, trusting in my connection to what I call Gus. God, universe, source, and spirit. I'm not really super religious. I'm not super spiritual either, but there is something unique and a little bit modern in the way that I believe in this connection. And it's like once I am grounded in this level of trust, I don't need anything necessarily outside of myself to make me feel safe. And I recognize that everyone is human and they're fallible. And of course they are, because we're perfectly imperfect. But I just start to, a little at a time, start really asking myself, what am I continuing to do without thought, without consciousness? And to me, consciousness is actual awareness. And so it's that little space they talk about between response and reaction. And to me, reaction is just literally reenacting an old story, and response is more like a spiral. I talk about that a lot sometimes. The difference between a loop and a spiral. And you can go spiral down or you can spiral up, but spirals are better to me than loops, because loops make me a little nutty. So anyway, I ask you to sit with that story a little bit and think about maybe where in your life you might be giving your power away, where you might be continuing things that really aren't serving you anymore. The systematic approach to, anything and everything in your life, whether it's eating or your relationships, your family, your job, your medical health, but really dive in and really connect with your heart space. And to me, this is where that intuitive knowing space is, the connection to your highest self that is connected to the creator of all that is. Once you have that connection so clear, you get the answers that you need for you. You don't need to ask anybody else what you need. Obviously, there's going to be times when you need other people, of course. But I would hope that 90% of the time I am functioning on, I know exactly what I need. I know what my body needs. I know what my spirit needs. I know what my heart needs. I just know how to care for myself in that way. And so everything outside of me is secondary. So anyway, nuggets today. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. Bye.